Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. On today's video tutorial, we are going to be going through question 3 of the grade 12 mathematics literacy paper 2 exam that was written in June 2021, right? And question 3, guys, focuses on calculating percentages and also calculating the mean or the average of a given data set, right? So I'll be taking you guys to an explanation of how you get the mean of something and how you get the percentage of a given data set, right? So please make sure that you watch this whole video tutorial. Please make sure that you do not skim through or skip through the video tutorial, because when you do that, you'll be missing important concepts that I'll be explaining to you guys, right? Before you get started with the video tutorial, guys, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Please make sure that you also click on that notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload a new video tutorial. And also please make sure that you give this video tutorial a huge thumbs up, because that really helps the channel grow and it helps the channel reach more learners that want to better their mathematics marks. The plan is to get this video tutorial to 1,000 likes, so please make sure that you help me reach that goal by liking this video tutorial. Another thing I would also like for you guys to do for me, if you see the ads pop up, can you please not skip the ads, right? So if you really love the content and you really want to support the channel, please make sure that you do not skip the ads when they pop up, right? So without any further ado, guys, let's get started with today's video tutorial. All right, so let us have a look at question 3, okay? So we're going to start off by just reading or having a look at the information that is given to us, right? And then from there, we're going to go and have a look at the questions and start answering the questions, okay? So question 3.1 says, Table 2 shows data for South African assessed taxpayers for the 2018 tax year, right? So we are told that this table represents the taxpayers that have been assessed, all right, for the year of 2018, okay? So the first column in this table, right, represents the taxable income group, right? So here we see people that earn less than 1 rand, right? We are given the total taxpayers that are in the taxable income group, right? So for people that earn less than 1 rand, the total number of people that have been assessed is 127K, okay? For people that earn from 1 rand to 70K, the total amount of people that have been assessed is 400K. For people that earn from 70K to 350K, okay, the total number of people that have been assessed is 2.8 million, right? And for people that earn from 350K to 500K, the total amount of people that have been assessed is 717,157. And for people that earn more than 500,000, right, the total amount of people or taxpayers that have been assessed is 816,268, right? And then this is the total amount of taxpayers that have been assessed, right, for the 2018 tax year. So that is the total amount of people that have been assessed, right? We are also given a column that represents the taxable income, right? And this amount is in million, right? Okay, so if it's in million, what does that mean? Okay, I'm going to explain that to you guys. And then the last one, the tax assessed, right? So the tax that is assessed, this amount is also in million, right? Okay, so if they say that the amount is in million, right, that means that we need to add, right, 6 zeros to whatever amount that is given to us here, right? Because, okay, if it's a 1 million, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is 1 million. It's got 6 zeros. If it's 10 million, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 10 million, okay? If it's 100 million, 100, and we still add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Okay, so whatever amount is here, okay, because it's in a million, we need to add 6 zeros to that amount. Okay, just the way that I explained. 1 million, I added 6 zeros to that one. 10 million, I added 6 zeros to that 10. 100 million, I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros to that 100, right? So even here, right, if we're given 15030 and it's million, we still need to add 6 zeros to this amount if we're calculating something. To that amount still, right? It's negative 16302 million. We need to add 6 zeros to that amount, right? Same goes with that amount and that amount and that amount. We are going to add 6 zeros to that amount because it's in million, okay? Same here. We're going to add 6 zeros to that amount, 6 zeros to that amount, 6 zeros to that amount because it is in million, okay? So let's get started with answering the question. Okay, 3.1.1. Okay, 3.1.1 says that we need to calculate the missing value C. Okay, so how do we calculate the missing value C? We see on that row that this row represents the total, right? So how do we get the total? To get the total, we literally add all the values together to get that amount. So if you were to check, right, how they got that amount, you'll see that they added that value with that value to that value to that value to that value to get that total amount, right? So that means that that is the same thing that we need to do here, right? To get the total for this column, we need to add all these values together, right? And then it even includes, so we see that it's a negative 16302. So we need to write it as a negative. And we need to add that value and add that value, add that value, and add that value, right? So that is exactly what we're going to do. 3.1.1. Okay, we are calculating the missing value C. So it's going to be negative 16302 plus 15030 plus 196 plus 297012 plus 783526. Okay, and when you add all these values together, you'll get a total of, okay, 1656462, right? So that is our missing value C, okay? Okay, I'm just going to go and fill it in there as well. So 1656462. All right, cool. Let's move on. Question 3.1.2. Determine to 3 decimal places the probability of randomly choosing an assessed taxpayer if South Africa's population was 57.73 million in 2018. Okay, so what is this question first asking us to do, right? In this question, guys, we are asked to calculate the probability, right? And what is the formula for probability? I think one learner asked me if they are going to give the probability formula in the exam. Sometimes they don't. Okay, as you can see that here, they haven't given us the formula that we use for probability. So that means that you need to know that formula off by heart. Okay, you need to know that formula off by heart. And then what is the formula for probability? Okay, so we're going to start. This is question 3.1.2, right? So the formula for probability is equal to the number of favorable outcomes, right? Probability is the number of favorable outcomes divided by or the number of total outcomes, right? Okay, so that is the formula for probability, the number of favorable outcomes divided by the number of possible outcomes or the number of total outcomes, right? Okay, so we're going to start off there by just asking ourselves, what is the formula for probability, okay? Okay, so the question is asking us, determine the probability of randomly choosing an assessed taxpayer, right? If South Africa's population was 57.73 million. Okay, so what is that 57.73 million? What is that value, right? Is that the favorable outcome or is that the possible outcome? That's the first question, right? The second question you need to ask yourself is, what column are we going to be focusing on? Okay, so they want you to get the probability of randomly choosing an assessed taxpayer, right? So we're going to look at the column that deals with taxpayers, right? So that is the column that we're going to be focusing on, right? So what is the favorable outcome? The favorable outcome is the taxpayer, the total taxpayers, right? And the total taxpayers is 4,917,029 rand, right? So that is the favorable outcome because we want the probability of randomly choosing an assessed taxpayer, right? And the total taxpayers that we have that are assessed is 4.9 million, right? And what is the possible or the number of possible outcomes or the total outcomes, right? The total outcome is the population of South Africa, which is 57.73 million. Okay, so the number of favorable outcomes is that 4.9 million that we have here. Okay. And what is the number of possible outcomes or the total outcome? That is the South Africans population, which is 57.73 million. Okay. So 57.73 million. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is 4,917,029 rand. This is 57,730,000. Okay, so what is the probability? The probability is 4,917,029 divided by 57,730,123. Okay, which is approximately equal to 0.085, right? Okay, so the probability of randomly choosing an assessed taxpayer if South Africa's population was 57.73 million in 2018 is 0.085, right? So that is the probability, right? Okay, let's move on to question 3.1.3. It says it calculates in rands the mean monthly taxable income per taxpayer in the 70K to 350K taxable income group, right? So we're going to be focusing on the 70K to 350K taxable income group. So we are focusing on that row there, okay? We're going to be focusing on that row there. Okay, because that is a 70,001 rand to 350,000 taxable income group, right? So we're going to be focusing on that row there. Okay, and which column are we going to be focusing on, right? Which column are we going to be focusing on, right? We are told that we want to calculate the mean monthly taxable income, right? So we're going to be looking at the taxable income column. Right. So we're going to be focusing on the taxable income column, and we're going to be focusing on the 70K to 350K row, right? So these are the two sets of information we are going to be focusing on, right? So from here, what must we do? We need to calculate the mean monthly taxable income per taxpayer in the 70K to 350K taxable income group, right? So we need to calculate the mean or the average, right, for this group, okay? So how do we calculate the average? Okay, so we need to calculate the mean monthly taxable income per taxpayer. So this is basically telling us what we need to do, right? We're calculating the average, the average monthly taxable income, right? Per, that means that we divide it by the taxpayer. Okay, so we're going to get the mean monthly taxable income, right? So we're going to be having that as your numerator divided by the total taxpayers, right? So this question is telling us what we need to do. So what is the mean taxable income, right? So the mean taxable income here is 577,196, right? And then what is the total taxpayers for that group? The total taxpayers for that group is 2.8 million, right? So we're going to take the taxable income, right, which is that. And then because we have that per there, it tells us that we need to divide it by the total taxpayers, right, to get the average or the mean monthly taxable income per taxpayer in the 70K to 350K taxable income group. Okay, I'm going to repeat. With question 3.1.3, we need to calculate the mean monthly taxable income per taxpayer in the 70K to 350K taxable income group, right? So first thing for this question, you need to determine which column and which row are we going to be focusing on, right? So first thing, we know that, okay, we're going to be focusing on the column that deals with the taxable income, right? Second thing that we know is we're going to be dealing with the row that deals with the 70K to 350K, right? And then second thing we need to do is that we need to determine how do you calculate the mean of something? How do you calculate the average of something? To get the average of something, right, you get the total of the value that you want divided by the total for that data that you're going to be working with, right? Okay, so the value that you want, okay, because we want the mean for the monthly taxable income, so that's that, divided by the total taxpayers that you have. That is how you are going to get the mean. Okay, so this is 3.1.3. Okay, to get the mean, right, is equal to, okay, it's going to be the 577,196, and because it's a million, we're going to add 6 zeros to this value, right? So it's going to be 577,196, 123, 123, okay, divided by the total taxpayers for this group, right? So the total taxpayers for this group is 2856043. Okay, that is just a straight number because we're not told about millions there, right? So we're gonna just substitute it like that, right? And then from there we're gonna get the mean. Okay, so it's 577,196, 123, 123 divided by 2856043, right? So the mean is equal to, okay, So the taxable income is in rands, right? So that is in rands, right? And this is just the taxpayers, right? So there's no unit for the taxpayers. That's why I leave it like that, right? So it's going to be, okay, 202,096 rand and 30. Okay, I'll just leave it as 397 cents, right? So that is the mean, right? But then we are not done. Okay, it says calculate in rand the mean monthly, right? So what we have here is just the mean for the year of 2018, right? So this is just the mean for the year. So how do we get the mean for the month, right? So that means that we need to take this value that we got here and we need to divide that value by 12, okay? Okay, so if you take that value and you divide it by 12, 202,096.397 divided by 12, you'll get it to be 16,841.37 cents. Okay, so that is the mean monthly taxable income per taxpayer, right? That is in the 70 to 350K taxable income group. Okay, so just a recap of what we did in this question. Okay, we have to calculate the mean, right? First thing you need to ask yourself, which column and which row am I working in, right? Because we want the mean monthly taxable income. That tells us that we are working in this column that deals with the taxable income, right? And then because we want per taxpayer, in the 70K to 350 taxable income group, that tells us that we're working in the group that has a taxable income of 70K to 350K, right? So we're working in these two categories, right? And then from here, what do we know? To calculate the mean, you already know that it's the value that you want, or the value that you basically obtained divided by the total, right? But then in this case, it's the value that we have, which is the taxable income, right? Divided by the total taxpayers for that taxable income. So this value in rands divided by the total taxpayers, right? And this question even tells you what you're supposed to do, because it says monthly taxable income per taxpayer, right? So the monthly taxable income is this. Per tells you that you're supposed to divide by the taxpayer, right? That will help you get the mean. Once we've got that mean, then now we need to find what the monthly taxable income is, right? So we just got the taxable income for the year, but we need to get what the monthly taxable income is, right? And to get what the monthly taxable income is, you just need to divide the value that you obtained by 12 to get the monthly taxable, to get the mean monthly taxable income per taxpayer, right, in that group to be 16,841 rand and 37 cents. Okay, and then question 3.1.4 says that in the table, the percent for tax assessed is 0.0% for the taxable income group 1 rand to 70K. Explain, showing calculations, how this percent was obtained. Okay, so again, which column are we working in? Okay, we are working in the column for the tax that has been assessed, right? So that is the column that we are going to be focusing on, right? So this is the column that we are focusing on, the one that I've just highlighted in pink. Okay, so this is the column that we are going to be focusing on, right? And then which row are we focusing on? We're going to be focusing on the row for the group of 1 rand to 70K, right? So that is the group that we're going to be focusing on. Okay, and what are we doing? We are calculating the mean, right? We are calculating the percentage, right? So we want to show how they got to 0%, right, for this group. So I'm going to just highlight it. Okay, so we're focusing on the 1 rand to 70K. How did they get that 0% there? Okay, because we're in this column and we're in this row, they want to understand how they got that 0%, 0.0%, right? So how can we prove that? We literally just have to calculate the percentage, right? How do you calculate the percentage, right? So the tax assessed for the taxable income group of 1 rand to 70K was 16 million. So we're going to take that 16 million and we are going to divide it by the total tax assessed to get the percentage of the tax assessed for that 1 rand to 70K group, right? So that is how you get your percentage. Okay, you took the total amount of tax assessed for this group. You're going to divide it by the total amount of the tax assessed, which is that one, to get the percentage, okay, of the tax assessed for the 1 rand to 70K group. Okay, this is 3.1.4. Okay, so to get the percentage, what is the tax assessed for the 1 rand to 70K group? It was 16 million. So we need to add what? 6 zeros to that 16. It's in rands. Okay, 16, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, divided by the total tax that is assessed. The total tax that is assessed is 356 million in rands, right? It's in rands. 356,199. Okay, and we're going to add 6 zeros. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 6 zeros because it's in million, right? Okay, we're going to punch that into our calculator, right? But before we do that, we know that we're calculating the percentage. And when you're calculating the percentage, right, it's going to be that 16 million divided by the 356,199 million multiplied by 100 because we want the percentage to give us the answer. Okay. 16123 divided by 356,199 123 6 zeros multiplied by 100, and you get your answer to be 0.00449%. Right. And then the question was asking us to explain sharing calculations, how this percentage was obtained. How did they get that 0.0%? And we can see that, okay, they just rounded it off, right? So if you round this value off, right, you'll find that this is actually equal to 0.00%. Okay, so that is how they got that answer. Okay. So the take from this question is that you needed to know how to calculate probability, okay? Because we were asked to calculate probability. If you don't know how to calculate probability, you are going to lose marks, right? Another take from this question is that you were also required to know how to calculate the mean, right? And then with this one, it's pretty simple because we are told what to do. Right? For the mean, they told us what to do. You need to get taxable income per taxpayer, right? So that means that you are just supposed to take the taxable income and divide it by the total taxpayer, right? So you just had to focus on the column and focus on the row. So have the column and have the row that you need to focus on in order. Once you do that, once you have done that, you will be able to then take the taxable income and divide it by the total taxpayers to get the mean. And once we got the mean, we know that we're required to calculate the monthly, okay, mean. So we only just had to divide our answer by 12, right? And then lastly here, for this question, we just needed to know which column we're focusing on, which row are we focusing on. We saw that, we're focusing on the row from the 1 rand to 70K and the column that deals with the tax assessed, the percentage or the tax assessed, right? And then from here, okay, we just had to calculate the percentage. And how do you calculate the percentage? So the value that you've obtained, right? Or the tax that was obtained for the 1 rand to 70k divided by the total tax that is assessed, which is this one, times it by 100 because we're getting the percentage to get our answer. Okay, so that is basically the approach for question 3. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video tutorial. I hope it made sense for you guys, and I hope I simplified everything for you guys. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and also don't forget to click on that like button, right? And I'll see you guys on my next video tutorial. That is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.